Hello you guys, welcome back to Channel Claire. I hope that you're having a lovely day wherever you are in this crazy world. Oh my goodness. So we had the Queen's anniversary, well, the anniversary of her passing, which has been a year. Insanity. And the royals took different routes. And of course, everybody has everything they want to say about it. And we know that Harry is, in Europe, going from place to place. I believe the Invictus Games started. But he was in the UK, stopped by Windsor to pay his respects to his grandmother and, her resting place. And while the others, I forget what chapel they went to, William and Kate, they went to this chapel and they had a way more formal type of ceremony. There was a picture placed of the Queen and they were there standing, in, very somber reflection and just looking at the picture. They had a lot of people who came out who, basically like a little bit of a walkabout. And I guess that's what people were saying they had an issue with, because it was more so like a PR thing versus like honoring their grandparent or the grandmother of William and Harry. And I just feel like it's the royal family. All like they do pomp and circumstance, they do ceremony. It's the first anniversary of the Queen's passing, so of course they were going to do something like this. I don't really know why people are trying to make it seem like it's something other that, like, you thought they were just going to post something on Instagram. Like, come on now. Of course it was going to be, Kate coming out with her little hat in a very tailored outfit wearing burgundy. And I'm like, in the UK, is it hot out there? Like, it's hot here? Because I'm like, girl, you looked good, tailored down. The outfit was fitted to perfection, but it had the long sleeves and it kind of was, felt like it would have been suffocating. If it's hot, it's just hot as hell here. And it's like, still September, early September, and it ain't cooled down for shit yet. So I was a little like, okay, interesting choice of outfit, Kate. But I don't know what people expected. But I did think it was cool that Harry kind of took this informal route and went to go visit the Queen's resting place. Apparently William and Kate were like an hour late, I think I read somewhere, because she was also like thanking the people who were out there waiting for them, like, thank you for waiting. So something went down with that. Things happen. You can't be perfect all of the time. Things truly do happen that are out of your control, So but they got there. But yeah, I like that Harry went to go see his grandmother, did his thing. Of course, people have an issue with that. And then on both sides, it's like, okay, once the news came out, the British press was like, oh, don't worry, because the other family members already did that. So he wasn't, just the only one to think of that idea. They did that prior to, having the ceremony, all this, that, and the other. So whatever. But what I really wanted to get on here and talk about is Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, okay? We grew up with Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. She's been in a lot of freaking films. She's been in That 70s Show with Ashton Kutcher. They played a couple. He also had Punk'd. He's been in a lot of rom-coms, a lot of movies, whatever. They've made their money, whatever. The situation is now, after this, I really thought that Ashton was doing like this sex trafficking thing where he was like heavily involved in that. I believe he has children, him and Mila. So the news of them kind of coming out in support of this man, I believe his name is Danny Masterson. Okay, yeah, his name is Danny Masterson. He played on That 70s Show. He was the one who wore the glasses. I wasn't really a big fan of That 70s Show. I would watch it if it was on, but it wasn't one of like my, whatever, like it was just there. Here's the picture of William and Kate, and that's the picture of the Queen sitting there, not sitting there. Well, she's sitting there in the picture, and they're there, reflecting. giving her moment of silence. And this was the outfit that I was saying that Kate was wearing. Like, it looked like it could be kind of hot, you know, in this outfit. It looks good on her. It's, you know, whatever. But I'm like, damn, is it hot in the UK? Because it's hot as fuck here. And then, yeah, this was the crowd outside of St. David's Cathedral in Pembrokeshire. So that's kind of them out there, and all the people who are waiting to see William and Kate pay their respects and all that good stuff. And someone said Prince Harry did not have to ask anyone to visit his grandmother's grave. First of all, it's open to the public. Secondly, if he did, they wouldn't have a way to stop him and inform the press. Third, nobody from Windsor will stop him. He is still the prince, which is true. So I hope that people aren't trying to say that Harry had no right to be there to go and visit his grandmother. That's him kind of walking out. People are so nutty. But if he wouldn't have done nothing, it would have been an issue. Oh, he doesn't care about the legacy. They can't fucking win. They can't win at all. Okay, so this guy, Danny Masterson, I've heard about it, but it's like one of those things where, like, you know that it's happening, you see that it's happening, there's just so much bad shit happening, and things that he's been convicted of, it says that he's been sentenced to 30 years to life in prison for the R word of 2 women. I really, like, that's a lot. Apparently, like, I haven't looked into the details, but I was reading comments and people were saying, yeah, you don't really need to look at the details if that's something that's going to trigger you. So trigger warning, because it was heinous. It was violent. He's going to jail for 30 years for a fucking reason. And it oftentimes in situations, guys like him get off real fucking easy, especially you got fame, you got money. Apparently he was in Scientology or something like that, protection. But for you to get 30 years, that means you did that shit. And from what's being said, it was horrible. Anything with SA, horrible. And he was accused and he was found guilty, and he is sentenced to 30 years rightfully. The issue is that Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, who were co-stars with Danny, it could have been a shut, closed book, you know, go to jail, get your fucking, and go the fuck away and be away from society, because clearly you don't know how to handle yourself, you monster. And they could have had their feelings in private. They could have sat there and talked amongst themselves, but instead they decided to write letters. And here's the thing, like, I understand, like, even like in the Chris Watts case, right? Like, his parents got up there, Chris Watts' parents, they got up there and spoke and, you know, showed support for their child. It doesn't make it better, because at the end of the day, your child did monstrous things, and you know that. And I know that that's a whole different story with that. Yes, they're not supporting them, and it's his parents, so it's a tad bit different, because parents tend to have that unconditional love. So for them to, like, speak on your past and your character, okay, it's a little bit more understanding. But when people who are just friends decide they want to pop out and speak on behalf in support of a man who's just been charged guilty of these things and have been sentenced to 30 years, it's not like they wrote these prior. They wrote this after he was sentenced. Ashton Kutcher, in his letter of support for Danny Masterson prior to his sentencing, while I'm aware that the judgment has been guilty. So he was already charged and found guilty. He's saying it in his letter, but this was done prior to the 30 years sentencing. While I'm aware that the judgment has been cast as guilty on 2 counts of R-word by force, and the victims have a great desire for justice. Like, he's literally writing this sentence. Convicted, 2 counts, forcible R-word. You're writing this. So anything you say after is really fucking weird. If like it's very strange. It's really fucking strange. And people were like, oh, he's not coming out of support of, he's just giving like telling about his past, and being a reference to he was a friend with him back. Who gives a fuck? Who cares when you're going down for 30 years for R word? Who gives a fuck if you showed up on time to set and knew your goddamn fucking lines and didn't say cuss words and you were a role model for so and so and so? Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? It's so weird. And for Ashton to be having this trafficking, program to combat this shit, and you have a daughter, you're gonna come out and say this? And why did y'all not consult anybody? PR team, whatever. Why did y'all not consult anybody prior to writing any fucking letter? And the thing is, they probably didn't think this letter was going to be released, but it was. Both of their letters were released. Let me find it. Yeah, both of the letters were released. This one starts, Mila Kunis to the Honorable Judge Almedo. Boom. That's hers. Christopher A. Kutcher to the Honorable Judge Almedo. Boom. Like, wrote lengthy letters. I'm writing this character. This is Mila. I'm writing this character letter on behalf of my dear friend Danny Masterson. So he's still a dear... I just feel it very contradictory, and like I don't understand how you rationalize this in your head. You can be shocked and appalled and need time to process. That's why you just don't do anything, because it is shocking. It's a fucked up situation that a person with whom you worked closely with, you called a friend, thought was a mentor. It's fucked up. It's traumatic that they turned out to be something completely different. But that's why you sit on it and you process, and then you figure out what the fuck you're going to do. You don't just spit out a letter disregarding the victims. For a character, your character is fucked. Why are you writing a character letter when he's already been found guilty of 2 counts of R word? It's maddening. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. So she says, I am writing this character letter on behalf of my dear friend Danny Masterson, with whom I have had the privilege of sharing a significant part of my life. My name is Mila Kunis, and I am an actress, and I believe it is essential to share the remarkable influence Danny has had on my life and the lives of others. This was written after he was already found guilty. You've got to be fucking kidding me. They're tripping. I first met Danny during our time together on the That 70s show. And from the very beginning, I could sense his innate goodness and genuine nature. He's been accused of R-wording 2 women viciously, heinously, and violently. But you want to cite his good nature and his goodness and genuine nature. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, thank God they have enough bags that they don't ever have to fucking work again, because why on earth? Why would you do this? Why would y'all do this? No, who asked you to fucking do this? Danny has proven to be an amazing friend, confident, and above all, an outstanding older brother figure to me. This man you are citing as an older brother figure had a double life and was doing some foul fucking shit, and you're still, this, it's out here, and oh my God, this is so bad. This is so bad. Oh, wow. One of the most remarkable aspects of Danny's character is his unwavering commitment to discourage the use of drugs. What the fuck does the use of drugs have to do with R-wording women and what he has been accused of? Whether you do drugs, you don't do drugs, what does that have to do? What does that have to do with anything? They have lost their everlasting mind. I don't know, whatever the fuck they're doing up in that house, tripping on whatever that has made them not come to all the way to think that this is O-fucking-K. Like, what the fuck? Ashton, you have a trafficking organization. Like, it makes no sense. It really makes no sense. Like, I don't even... His influence on me in this regard has been invaluable. Okay, so he told you not to do drugs? That drugs are bad for you? What? He was your DARE instructor? What is wrong with people? Oh my god. Danny played a pivotal role in guiding me away from such destructive paths. Oh my god. Still going on about drug use. Danny's steadfastness in promoting drug-free lifestyle. So he has a drug-free lifestyle, but he will indulge in other fucking lifestyles that you're okay with. But you just want to let everybody know he didn't do fucking drugs, you know, like, just want to let y'all know. He steered me away, you know. I just didn't know that myself. Nobody else could steer me away. Just Danny Masterson. So I just wanted you guys to know that this is fucking trash. Danny's role as a husband and father to his daughter has been nothing short of extraordinary. Well, he did this. He was not thinking of his daughter, his father, his daughter, his wife, his family at all when he was doing his acts. So he doesn't give a fuck. They obviously weren't that invaluable. They weren't that profound. They didn't have that much of a fucking influence on his life for you to go and ruin it and never be able to see them, you know, without a fucking glass. They weren't that important to stop you from doing heinous acts. Like, shut the fuck up. I don't even want to read the rest of that. What is Ashton saying? My name is Ashton Kutcher. I'm an actor, investor, philanthropist, and most importantly, a father. I met Danny Masterson when I was 20 in 1998. They were friends for 25 years. He's been nothing but a positive influence. He's extraordinary, honest, and intentional human being. So if he's intentional, that means he knew what the fuck he was doing, which makes it 1,000 times fucking worse. We knew he knew what he was doing regardless, but, like, come the fuck on. Like, they're not even realizing how this... I don't understand how they wrote this, thought this, sent this out, and, like, thought it was okay. It's very confusing and concerning. They've traveled around the world together, raised their daughters together, shared countless family moments, As a role model, Danny has consistently been an excellent one. You're calling this man a role... How is he consistently, still at this time, a good role model for you when he is found guilty for two... Oh my gosh. Insanity. Insanity. Wow. He also set an extraordinary standard of how you treat other people. Oh my God. Oh my God. He set an extraordinary standard on how to treat other people, but his victims, I know for a fact, do not fucking agree with that statement or any of the statements in this. Oh, wow. Wow. At any time that we were to meet someone or interact with someone who was on drugs or did drugs, he made it clear that it wouldn't be a good person to be friends with. And for me, that was the implication that if we were to do drugs, he wouldn't want to be friends with me. What is this drug situation that they have? Why do they keep bringing this shit up? I didn't follow the trial, so forgive me if it really has something to do with, like, inside of it. Why do they keep bringing this up? Just because he didn't like to do drugs and encouraged y'all not to do drugs did not mean he did not do what he's been accused and sentenced of doing. I just... Wow. There was an incident where we are at a pizza parlor and a belligerent man had entered and who was berating his girlfriend. We had never met or seen these people before, but Danny was the first person to jump up to the defense of this girl. It was an incident he didn't have to get involved in, but proactively chose to because the way this man was behaving was not right. Really, Ashton? Considering what he's been accused of doing, you want to let us know that he jumped up in a pizza parlor and wanted to play hero? And that's the story you're going to give to show that He's a great, genuine, good-natured person. And he needs and deserves leniency for doing something horrific to two women, if not more. It's disgusting. And quite honestly, we don't even have to get. I'll end it on this note. While I'm aware that the judgment has been cast as guilty on 2 counts of rape by force, and the victims have a great desire for justice, I hope that my testament to his character is taken into consideration in sentencing. I do not believe he is ongoing harm to society, and having his daughter raised without a present father would be a territorial injustice in its of itself. Thank you for taking time to read this. They are literal fucking trash for you to pen this letter and say in the end that you know that he is already charged and is found guilty of raping 2 women, but you still hope that this saying that he doesn't do drugs and he encouraged you not to do drugs and he jumped up and tried to play freaking savior in a pizza parlor is enough for the judge to grant leniency to this crazed man. Oh my God. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. And I don't know why, who, where, what the fuck, who advised that this was okay. And I know. And they've been getting backlash. They've been getting hella backlash. And I know this because they have come out with a video. A half-assed video of whatever the fuck. Where do they live? In a barn somewhere? Like, where even are they? Anyway, here's the video. Pop Bass posted this 2 hours ago. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis apologized for writing letters in support of Danny Masterson.
Victims.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
You didn't think about that before you pinned it?
We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
They don't
give a
fuck.
Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character
and
letters
you should have said
to
no.
represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take
Hold
that
up.
into full consideration.
The person that they knew for 25 years. People are multifaceted. Just because you knew this one side of this person for 25 fucking years does not mean in that same time frame, in same exact moment, he didn't have a whole other fucking side to him that was doing horrific fucking things that you just didn't fucking know about. So why would you make a fucking idiots?
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system.
Well, I'll be goddamn.
Of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read.
Sounds like your PR team wrote this, but you should have went to your PR fucking team prior to even sending out these goddamn letters. And the family fucking asked you to do it. You should have told the family, no, I'm sorry. I cannot.
Re-traumatize them in any way.
It is re-traumatizing.
And we're sorry if that has taken place.
You're not
Our
sorry.
heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim of sexual assault.
You
sexual
don't
abuse.
care. Why would
We
Wow,
are
they don't give a fuck. That was so sorry. Right. Someone said their publicist behind the camera. Lois with the news anchor lady. You know what? Like, forcing them. They're not apologizing for support. They're not apologizing for supporting Danny Masterson. They're apologizing to investors and the financial backlash they received already. Exactly. Someone said, notice how they make zero condemnation of their friends' actions in this video. Not a one. Not a single solitary one. Like, they probably aren't going to work for a whole, like, I don't understand how you can show your face after this. After being so fucking dumb like this. And yet they still didn't condemn his actions and basically admitted that they didn't think anyone but the judge would see the letter. Yeah, it's over. Exactly. So they had no fucking clue that this was going to be released. And they, like they said, they did not condemn his actions, behavior. Nothing. Nothing. I don't understand. I don't understand. I really don't. Who told them this would be a smart idea? So one of the victims posted on their IG. Oh my goodness. See, they don't think about things. They don't think about who's going to see things. They didn't think. They thought just the judge was going to see it. But now you have re-traumatized victims because the victims have seen your bullshit letter of support. This is fucking wild. Okay. So it says, Chrissy Bexler says, Dear Ashton, I know the secrets your role model keeps for you. Oh, Lord. See, they should have kept their mouth shut. They should have sat there and ate their motherfucking food on their farm in the middle of fucking nowhere. Because now, one of the victims is alleging that Ashton has secrets. So don't be surprised if his shit stopped coming out the woodwork. Should have sat there and ate your food. And said, hell no. Your family member was just found guilty of the R word of 2 women. No, I'm not going to write a fucking character goddamn letter. Hold on. Okay, so it says, Dear Ashton, I know the secrets your role model keeps for you. Ones that would end you. Well, honey, he's already ended. He's done it for himself. You don't even have to do anything. Just let the karma run its course. He's already fucking told on himself, him and Mila, by coming out with this letter of support, thinking that drugs, and because he helped someone in a pizza parlor back in the day, should give him leniency in him being accused of R-wording 2 people. It's already done. I don't know how these letters got released, if that's something that's supposed to happen, or, or somebody was really just coming for their asses because they saw that shit and were like, oh, hell no. Did you forget I was there? You were on speakerphone that night. You called Danny on February 21st, 2021. I heard everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor. This is not good. He really shouldn't have said a fucking thing. This is so dumb. But people just be exposing themselves, I guess. Dear Mila, I pray you begin to process what you've experienced as a child on that set. So I guess she's alleging that some shit went down on That 70s Show set that, happened to Mila. So she's kind of maybe, this is just not good. Your old interviews are very telling. I encourage everyone to watch them and decide for yourself what you hear and see. I wonder what interviews. Do so before they get scrubbed from the internet. Oh shit, what interviews? I also know what happened in Toronto and after. Why is there always shit happening in Toronto? Oh my gosh. So apparently something went down in Toronto with Mila Kunis. Oh, why is there always something in Toronto? Question. If that's what you view as a normal relationship, so apparently something went down with Danny in Toronto concerning or involving Mila. So she's asking Mila, question, if that's what you view as a normal big brother figure, relationship, which is what Mila referenced in her letter of support, then I feel very sad for you. And I hope you consider going to therapy. Damn. You all must forget I was there the whole time. Those first 5 years. 5 years is a long time of That 70s Show. I remember everything. So that is from one of the victims. Wow. Dumb for Ashton and Mila. It seems like they're upset that they made it, this was made public. They don't seem like they're sorry for making it seem like they supported it. Yeah, they're not sorry for that. They're pissed that it was made public. Damn. Done. Done. It's way too late. The damage is done. The damage is effing done. You guys shouldn't have said nothing at all to support a man like that. Nah. In better news, before I go, Johnny is booked and busy. We know that we saw the GQ magazine Middle East article that he did speaking about his work with Dior. We have now seen like behind the scenes videos of his photo shoot with Dior. People were trying to say that the pictures were photoshopped and shit. No, because they gave video and that's actually him. That's actually how he looked. So as much as these people try to discredit everything about this man, he's just fucking fine. He's sexy, and yes, he's 60 years old. So I don't know what to tell you. Good skin. Oh, and he has like a skincare regimen and everything. Where was that article? He did an article with In Style. Fuck. I've liked so many things. He did an article with In Style, and he was talking about what skincare he uses, the product, the brand he uses. I'm gonna try to find it. There was another post from the team that he worked with behind the scenes for the Dior Sauvage shoot. It says, can't wait to share all the films and photos recreated over the next few weeks. So they did a lot of work. All right. And this is them. And that's Johnny. Not photoshopped. Weirdos. Effing weirdos. I'm still trying to find the, he did an interview with South China Morning Post where he's talking about Dior and his upcoming film Modi. He's directing it. So, and he did the In Style one, which I'm trying to find. So, like, he's out there doing his thing. Okay, here it goes. So they asked him, do you have a beauty routine? And he says, I like the Dr. Barbara Sturm products a lot. We know. So it says, I like the Barbara Sturm products a lot, but no real beauty routine. But when you grow older and you gain a bit of knowledge, you understand the way things work. It's like you should take care of your body at least as well as you take care of your car. Have some respect for this mortal coil. And that's so true. As you get older, you're like, God damn, well, I do only get this one body. Let me take care of it as best as I can. Like, that definitely hit me when I turned 30. So, Barbara Sturm products, I'm sure it's high. I know it's high. And is it only for men? Strum products. Dr. Strum. This is some high-end shit. Allow cookies, I guess. Like, so this first thing that pulled up was this cleanser. Well, a serum. Okay, hyaluronic serum, $110. Holy crap, $110. This shit is expensive, but that's why he looks this good. Face cream, $75. Glow drops, $60. This is the face cream, $75. So Johnny got a whole little skincare routine he be doing in the evenings and nights before he go to sleep. That's so cute. That's so cute. But he's doing a lot. He's doing a lot. He's directing his film, talking about getting the cast together. All good things. And we're going to be getting more photos, more video, more film, more everything coming soon. So we'll be on the lookout. I'll let you know what I see, what I find. But he looks great. He looks awesome. And I think that it's only going to get better from here. It's only going to get better from here. But I hope that you guys have a great rest of your evening, wherever you are in this crazy, crazy world. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. Mila and Ashton, What the fuck? What the fuck? What the actual fuck? You really didn't have to do all of that. And now you done fucked yourself up. But that's what happened. Okay, so I thought I was gone, but not so much. I was scrolling on TikTok, and this is why Ashton in particular really should have kept his mouth shut. Because now all his stuff is about to be literally pulled out of the woodwork, dredged up from the deepest depths. They're going to get your shit, and they're doing it. So I see this TikTok, and I'm like, damn. I remember what we just read from Christy Brexler, who's one of the victims, who is also an ex of Danny Matterson.
In an Instagram story, Danny Masterson's ex and victim, Chrissy Bixler, called out Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis for writing support letters.
Yes,
in that post, she
that's what we
mentioned
read
knowing
earlier.
something about Ashton Kutcher that would end him, something that happened on February 21st, 2001. She claims she was there with Danny when Ashton called him that night. He was on speaker and she heard about the plan. Well, on
What's the
February
plan?
21st, 2001, a 22-year-old fashion student living in LA named Ashley Ellerin was stabbed to death in her home. That was the same night she was supposed to go on her first date with Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher was not...
How coincidental. How fucking coincidental. Chrissy is saying she was on the phone, well, she was there the same night in 2021 where Ashton was on the phone and they were talking about the whole plan. And that same night, this young woman should have shut the fuck
the
up.
one arrested for her murder. He was actually a witness during the trial. A man named Michael Gargiulo was the one arrested, and the media called him the Hollywood Ripper. But how did we get here? On August 14th, 1993, an 18-year-old girl named Trisha Picaccio was stabbed to death outside of her home. The night that Trisha came home, she walked up to the side of her house when the killer grabbed her arm, twisted and broke it, and stabbed her 12 times.
Oh my
Next morning, when her
God.
father woke up, he walked outside only to find his daughter dead on the floor. He
People
tried
are
to
so
revive her,
fucking
yelled
evil.
out to his son to call the police.
Evil.
Police came and started to investigate. Police never arrested anyone, and her parents moved out of the home, but eventually moved back 4 years later. Not only did Trisha's family know Michael since he was in second grade, but Michael was close friends to her brother Doug. When Trisha's family moved back to the home, Michael showed up and said he wanted to speak to Trisha's father, Rick. According to Trisha's mom, Rick wasn't home, but Michael decided to stay and wait. An hour later, Rick showed up to the house. Michael looked like he wanted to say something, but then his sister and his father showed up and said, "Michael, you need to leave." Trisha's father, Rick, said he thought it was odd. The look on his face made him feel like he was going to admit he was the person that did it. Rick said by the time he called authorities to say what had happened, Michael had already left town. It turns out Michael moved to LA, became an air conditioning repairman, and he was trying to get into acting. It's now 8 years later since Trisha's murder, and Michael meets a group of friends, one of them being Ashley Ellerin. Ashley and some friends were on the street trying to fix a tire. Mike sees them, comes over, starts flirting with Ashley, and they exchange phone numbers. Apparently,
It's crazy
Ashley
how
was
everything's
very outgoing.
connected.
She had a lot of friends, some included even celebs. At this time, Ashley
Which
was
is
living
how
with
I
some
guess
of
she
her
met
friends,
Ashton.
and they had said that Michael, after getting her number, was calling the house all the time and always showing up uninvited. One friend said that one time they had a house party, Michael just walked in, sat on the couch, and was very laser focused on Ashley. One of her friends said that she was not interested in Michael, that a lot of men were interested in her, and at one point she started to get calls from Ashton Kutcher. These were Ashley's friends that were speaking up, and they said they hung out with Ashton Kutcher a couple of times. Well, on February 21st, 2001, Ashley was supposed to go on her first date with Ashton Kutcher. We'll continue this in part 2. In an Instagram story, Danny Masterson's ex
So let me see if I can find part 2, because what it's sounding like is, and it's crazy how things are connected. It sounded like this guy who clearly is crazed, moved to LA after he had already committed a situation, allegedly, got into some other friendships, and it sounds like, definitely given his past situation, could have done what happened to the young girl Ashley, who was about to go on the first date with Ashton Kutcher. But she does have a part 2.
It's February 21st, 2001, and Ashton Kutcher is supposed to go on a date
So
with...
February 21st, 2001. That is the same date that Chrissy Brexler put in her Instagram story referencing Ashton and Mila, saying that she was on the phone, not on the phone, but she was there when they were on the phone, him and Danny, trying to get a plan together on that same day that this young girl.
Ashley
Weird.
Ellerin. I think I mentioned in my last video that at the time,
Weird.
Ashley was living with a few of her friends.
And it's just like, I know coincidence happens, but at what point is coincidence no longer a thing? You know, half the time nowadays, I don't even believe in coincidence. But what is coincidence? You know what I mean? Like, it could be just all circumstantial or whatever, but like, it's weird. It's weird. It's definitely weird.
And the next morning, a girl named Jennifer Tesisto came home to find Ashley covered in blood. Jennifer immediately called the police. They investigated and said that Ashley was stabbed 47 times.
Oh my
They also
God.
said it was evident that Ashley had just taken a shower and her body was found right outside the bathroom. What's crazy to me is the lead detective said there was very little to go off of because even though she was stabbed 47 times, there was no blood splatter. Now, Jennifer said whoever did this to Ashley had to have known her because their home was double gated. After finding out that Ashton Kutcher was supposed to be on a date with her the night before, they questioned him. And according to Ashton, when he first met Ashley, he was in a relationship with somebody else and introduced Ashley to one of his buddies. He then said 2 weeks before she died, he was in her home at a house party and the two of them were single then. That's when they made plans to go out for dinner and drinks. Ashton told police that he was at a party and he was running late and he called her around 8:24 p.m. and she said she had just gotten out of the shower. He said he got to her home around 10:45 p.m. The lights
He is literally right up in all of that shit. He had just gotten off the phone with her and she was like, I'm going to take a shower. And they had found her stabbed the 47 fucking times, horrifically, right outside the bathroom. Oh my God. He is like all in this shit.
But no one answered. He looked into the window and noticed what he thought at the time was red wine, but that was actually her blood. And during trial, he said the original plan was to pick her up at 8 p.m., but he was invited to a friend's house to watch the Grammys. He called her at 7:30 to tell her he would be later than 8, and then called her again to give her an update on his whereabouts. He left her a voicemail and then said at 8:24, she called him back from Jen's phone saying the house phone wasn't working. At that point, she said she just got out the shower, she was going to dry her hair, so him being late wasn't a problem. According to Ashton,
so something had to have happened to her right within that time frame if she was still found outside her. Oh, I've never even heard of this scenario situation that he was involved, a witness of such, and never would have known if he would have kept his fucking mouth shut. I'm sure a lot of people didn't know about this and wouldn't have known if he would have kept his fucking mouth shut and didn't try to support a man who had just been found guilty.
Called around 10 p.m. to say he was on his way, but she didn't answer, so he didn't go straight there. He didn't want to show up without touching base with her, but by 10:45 he did show up. She didn't answer, and he assumed it was because she was mad at him for how late he was. He testified that he tried to open the door and it was locked, and the next day when he found out that she was dead, he freaked.
Why would you try to open someone's door and just try to open someone's door if you thought that they were mad at you because you were late? You get there, you're trying to open the door, they're not answering, so you try to open the door like you're gonna be let in. Anyway, he was very involved in this. This is
out because
creepy.
He knew his fingerprints were on the doorknob. According to Jennifer, it turns out that Ashley had been casually dating several men. Jennifer said around that time she had met Ashton Kutcher with Ashley at a New Year's Eve party that he was throwing. And during trial, Jennifer said, during this time, I mean this with respect, Ashley would brag about having intimate relations with men. In other words, there were several men coming in and out of the house for Ashley. Well, detectives ended up speaking to a man named Mark Durbin, who is Ashley's apartment complex manager. It turns out Mark and Ashley had a secret relationship, and earlier that evening, they had been intimate. Mark and Ashton both cooperated with police, and the two of them were ruled out as suspects. Now, friends did mention Michael to the detectives and said that he was an AC repairman who creeped them out. But because Ashley had a large circle of friends, detective didn't focus on Michael until months later. Continue this in part 3.
There's a part 3. there is so fucking much in the fact that he was calling her like when literally all this shit would have went down, or like literally right before and right after, calling and leaving voicemails and shit. And that whole voicemail thing gets me, like, you know, I hate the, like, it just reminds me of like Jodi Arias and shit. Like, oh, I'm gonna leave a voicemail, try to act like I ain't do shit. Like, anyway, I'm not saying Ashton did anything to this girl. I just think that it's very coincidental, especially given what Christy has said. Yeah, Ashton should have kept his mouth shut. I'm kind of interested in what part 3 says, so.
A year after Ashley Ellerin's death, there was new DNA tech that allowed detectives to look at what they collected from Trisha.
And the creator's name on TikTok is Nuha. It's Nuha. So she is doing like a whole deep dive of the situation, and Danny Masterson and Mila and Ashton. So that's Nuha, Nuha, on TikTok.
They found male DNA on Trisha's fingernails and had to match it. Detectives looked at every male on the suspect list and found out that Michael had moved to LA. When they contacted LAPD, that's when they found out that they and LAPD were both looking for Michael Gargiulo. LAPD obtained a sample of Michael's DNA, and it was a match to what was found on Trisha's fingernails. But the DA said it wasn't enough to charge him because it was known that Michael gave Trisha a ride to a friend's house the day before she was murdered. Well, 4 years after Ashley Ellerin was murdered, Michael was dating, he became a father, and moved to El Monte, California. That same year, on December 1st, 2005, Michael's neighbor, Maria Bruno, was stabbed to death in her bed. She was stabbed 17 times and found in her bed by her estranged husband.
Please tell me this man is under the jail.
Into very violent fights,
underneath of it.
to move out. Now, even though she too lived in a gated apartment complex, somebody had access to her, and I won't even go into the details.
Because how is this now the third woman that you are connected to and could have possibly murdered by stabbing a crazily amount of times? Like, isn't that like a MO or a pattern? I hope this guy is, oh my God, like, oh my God.
It's gruesome. When police arrived to the scene, they found one blue booty outside of her apartment with a drop of blood that turned out to be Maria's. When police spoke to her estranged husband, he said the night before they had decided to rekindle their relationship and went out to a restaurant. Police did find blood in his car, but he said that when they were at the restaurant, she cut her finger, and a manager at the restaurant also confirmed it. And according to Maria's friends, they said that Maria confided in them that she would have strange run-ins with a neighbor across the way. That neighbor was none other than Michael. 3 years later, on April 28th, 2008, Michael left his girlfriend and his baby and went to Santa Monica. Michelle Murphy was asleep when she woke up to a man on top of her and stabbing her. She was stabbed in her chest, shoulder, and right arm 8 times, but she fought and she fought hard. At some point, the blade ended up stabbing the guy that was attacking her. She used her legs and kicked him off. He fell against the wall and actually said to her, "I'm sorry," before running out. Because she was able to stab her attacker, there was blood outside of her apartment and down the alley, and it was a match for Michael. After Michael was arrested in June, police involved in Maria Bruno's case decided to look into his apartment at that time. Now, this is 3 years after Maria's death, and Michael's apartment was vacant. But when they checked the attic, they found an identical medical booty in a plastic bag. They tested skin cells on the booty and found DNA that matched Michael. Michelle was very brave and very lucky to have survived that attack, and because of her, Michael was charged on 2 murder counts and 1 attempted murder. On July 16th, 2021, Michael Gargiulo was sentenced to death, but still has to stand trial for Trisha Pacascio. After being sentenced, he told the judge, "I'm innocent. I've been framed by tunnel vision detectives." Of course, everybody's looking at Chrissy Bixler like, what do you mean by this post? When I read that, my brain goes one of 2 ways. Is she trying to say that Ashton Kutcher was involved? And if not, the only other thing I can think of is maybe he did go inside. He saw her body.
And
maybe
left.
she wasn't dead yet. He's like, "I'm an up-and-coming actor.
I don't want to be involved." And fucking left and said nothing. What she meant by that, it's all pure speculation. That I can believe.
A year after Ashley.
So that theory right there, I can believe. I do not think he you know, did the actual act of murdering her. I definitely think it was this crazed lunatic that has been connected to all these women. But I could definitely believe he's an up-and-coming actor. He went over there, saw what he saw, got scared, and fucking left. And because he didn't want to be involved, called no one, called up Danny, told him the whole situation. They're sitting there on the phone, okay, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. Chrissy was there, heard it all, and there you go. And who knows if he could have done something to save her or not. I believe that could have happened allegedly. So I just wanted to get round out that picture because that just came up on my feed. Ashton should have kept his mouth shut. Mila should have kept her mouth shut. This is fucking wild. I know, it's so horrible, and I'm happy that the victims have gotten justice, and they also need to remove this man from society because what the fuck.